Lights, camera, action. Hello, my friend.
Well, good. I think we're in afternoon by now, aren't we?
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes. Um so yeah, we were just talking and we want to keep going. You were talking about your son, talking about faith
Hey,
and what it
yes.
is because everybody's got a definition of it. And
Yeah.
then I was talking about belief. And
Yes.
it's the same word, yes?
Yeah.
Pistis. Yeah.
Pistis.
It's
Yeah.
just translated either faith
Faith
or
or
belief.
belief. Yeah.
And what the
Or
hell?
trust. Or trust.
Okay. So what is it, right? Which
Yeah.
is it? And which one are they talking about? And why? And when? And what are they? Because yeah, everybody's got a definition of faith. Everybody and people tend to equate belief
Mm,
with religion.
yeah.
Um, that's I believe God, but people believe things every day about
Yes.
a million different things.
Yes.
And so everybody on the planet is a believer. It's just what they're believing.
Yes.
And I think people would hear that. And I've heard people push back. No, I don't believe anything. I only trust the things that I know or see or whatever. And so there's this divide of people thinking that what they're doing is not believing. And that was something that I had kicking around. But you and I were starting to dig into you said your son brought up the word faith
Yeah.
and what it is.
Faith, according to Paul, comes by hearing.
Yes.
So, um, this, okay, so faith comes by hearing, or faith comes by obeying,
Hmm.
submitting to hearing. But whatever you hear and hear and hear, as long as it's true, you're safe. But if you are hearing things that are not true and you don't argue against untruth, then your obedience will cause you to believe what you've been hearing. One day I was listening to a friend of mine preach, and he talked about the word belief. And he said the word lief was Old English for treasure, to treasure. Well, what do you do with treasure? I can tell you, if something is treasure for you, if it's your treasure, you don't let anything get between you and it. You don't let anything steal your treasure. You put your life on the line to protect your treasure, whether your treasure is money, but more likely your treasure is your family, it's your kids,
Hmm.
it's things like that. You treasure them. And that that excited me to realize that I had learned about obedience, and literally what I was doing when I was obeying is I was believing. I was treasuring what God said. I was treasuring the things that I knew were true.
Hmm.
And because I was treasuring them, I was keeping my eyes on them. I
Hmm.
was keeping my thoughts on them. I was protecting my mind and my heart.
Hmm.
I because I didn't want stuff in them that wasn't true. I
Right.
wanted the truth. But
Mm.
one day I got to thinking, what about the word be? One of the meanings of be is thoroughly. And I thought, thorough belief is to thoroughly treasure.
Mm. Yeah.
Wow, that's what I do. I literally do. I treasure God's word. I don't let anything, as much as I am able, I don't let anything get between me and God's word,
Hmm.
between me and what God has said.
Yeah.
And those notes that I've told you that I have, where I've got hundreds and hundreds of notes that I've been going over and over for years. I just go over them And once I get to the end, I go back to the beginning. And sometimes, like one note that I've been on, number 399, um, I've been going over this now for several weeks. I haven't been able to get past it. I wrote it down years ago,
Right.
as I've gone back through it, it's like, wow, I see something that I never before saw. I've been over those notes so many times,
Yeah.
and that I just know they're true, and I tell myself I know this is the truth, and thank you. But the other day, something hit me, and I said, "Wow, I never saw that." I repeat the words of God to myself, His thoughts, His ideas. I repeat them to myself. I thoroughly treasure them. I keep them before me all the time. I write them on my forehead. I've gotten them written in my heart. I've got them on cards and things
Yeah.
like that. And I just every so often remind myself of the truth. I'm
Hmm.
treasuring it.
Hmm.
That that was exciting to me to realize that that's really for me. And literally, if anybody is believing something, it's because they're treasuring it, and they may be thoroughly treasuring it. I
Yeah.
look at what's happened over the last few years when this COVID thing hit, and the way people, I was stunned at the way people just believed what they were told,
Yeah.
and they would reject their families because they had been told that, for instance, the vaccine was perfectly safe and perfectly good by authorities. But
Hmm.
there were a lot of people that said, "Wait a minute, I don't agree with that. I don't know." I mean, that was my position.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't reject it. I just didn't accept it. I said, I just want to wait to know more.
Yeah.
But those people who were believing, they were obeying the line that the CDC and everything were putting out. They accepted that as truth, and they literally they thoroughly treasured the lies.
Yeah.
And to this day, there are some of those people. They're listening to this. If they're listening to this recording, they've just hung up. You
Yeah.
know, because they can't believe that they won't believe that anything is not true that they believe.
Right.
And so they've wrapped their arms around it and they're holding on to it with all their might.
Hmm.
But what they don't realize is that if anything they're believing isn't true and they have decided it is true, then they are literally living a lie, and it is going to screw up their life in more than one ways. It will screw up their minds, it'll screw up their emotions. They'll have trouble. And for many people who I know, because we had a very close friend who just he he was so enamored with, he had a medical background, he was a nurse, and he was so wrapped up with the some of the things that were going on politically. And we said we just don't agree with that.
Hmm.
But okay, so we have a disagreement on this particular belief. And the guy literally got so angry he was spitting, and he just completely rejected our friendship. I mean,
Wow.
gone. We have not talked to him in years. He said, "I never want anything to do with you." And he had been a good friend of our family, but it was because he was treasuring things that, he was drinking, and I mean, he was really messed up. And
Yeah.
and he just, I don't even know if he's still alive. But
Yeah.
um, he was treasuring knowledge that we know was wrong, and because of it, he separated himself from dear friends just simply because he what he was treasuring was not true, and it resulted in behavior that it hurt him. It hurt us emotionally.
Yeah.